Finally, at dawn, the sound they've been crouched in the jungle all night to hear. The ambush. Agents of the DEA and Border Patrol assisting Bolivia's narcotics police. Just as their informant predicted, coca paste, the basic ingredient of cocaine, is moving along this road to market. The truck they seize is loaded. Minutes later, another truck full of paste drives straight into the roadblock.
Gracias. Gracias.
Taking off the paste itself makes you feel pretty good, because that's one less kilo that my other fellow agents up in the United States have to take off in the streets.
But the morning's biggest catch is a money man, a paste buyer with $73,000 US cash in a satchel on the front seat. By arresting him, the DEA hits a major trafficking organization where it hurts.
We basically, in some places, actually attack them in the hope that they cannot function. The bottom line is that if there's any analogy that's going to be made, is that we are the guerrillas.
About a dozen men, that's it on this operation, fighting the war on drugs here in the hostile territory of Bolivia's Cocaine Alley. The road is the main route traffickers use to transport paste to airstrips on its way to processing labs. Before long, it is lined up with the kind of pickup trucks people in this part of Bolivia can't afford unless they're in drugs. Even a broken-down farm truck with women and children on it is a potential risk. Along to ride shotgun on the money. It becomes a threat the minute it's allowed to drive off into town 10 minutes away with news of the ambush. It's time to clear out, but one of the prisoners has agreed to cooperate, leading agents through the jungle to the deposito, where paste is dried and stashed.
You could have several divisions, the Army, walking through this jungle, and it would be blind luck if you ever walked upon this place.
One of the DEA's best days ever in Bolivia. The cash plus 1,000 pounds of paste, worth more than $20 million if it reached the United States as cocaine. For delivering this haul, the informant will be paid $5,000. But now, the problem is getting it out. Today's haul may be a major victory for the DEA, but along Cocaine Alley, where cocaine supports just about everybody in one way or another, it's the kind of loss that is not taken lightly. The only getaway route is right into Ataramazama, the cocaine capital of the region. Over a radio captured in the raid, the agents hear drug traffickers organizing the town against them, offering to pay people to blow up the trucks and recapture the dope. When they reach Ataramazama, the whole town is waiting for them, armed with sticks of dynamite. The Bolivian narcotics police move in on foot, shooting into the air to back off the crowd. Finally, the convoy lurches down the dusty main street. The paste and the prisoners are in the truck with the tarp over it to keep them hidden and to deflect the dynamite. A prisoner breaks free, but nobody has time to stop him. The soldiers are more concerned about just getting themselves and the trucks through town. The mob spills back into the street, jeering and whistling, as the last soldiers dash for safety. The convoy is safe once more, but the new message on the traffickers' radio? From now on, the reward for killing one of the Americans is up to $15,000. Martha Teischner, CBS News, at Ataramazama, Bolivia. By the time they land, it's too late. The drug traffickers have fled. In this operation, American DEA agents working with Bolivia's drug police have flown to the remotest part of the country, all the way to the Brazilian border, acting on a tip, expecting to find as much as 1.5 tons of cocaine. So close, but not close enough. What they found was food, still hot on the table, drug paraphernalia. a sophisticated radio, and guns. Signs traffickers have been here, but no cocaine. A lot of risk, not much reward.
First thing, we should have gotten this information immediately when we had it. We didn't have the ability then because we simply had the resources someplace else.
Inadequate resources. That's what the DEA's men complain is preventing them from winning the drug war in Bolivia. Right now, they have one transport plane available for operations and 5 helicopters, all of them older than the pilots who fly them. Routine repairs regularly cost them missions.
Anytime one of these aircraft goes down, that's just 5 people less plus equipment that can't operate out in the woods.
At any one time, the DEA can manage, at best, a handful of men and limited equipment in a country the size of Texas. So it has to play it smart, aim for targets that will hurt all levels of Bolivia's drug organizations, just to make a difference. In the next 2 weeks, the DEA will blow up 24 clandestine airstrips, a serious setback for traffickers. But even this has to be done in a makeshift way. The charges are made of ordinary fertilizer, because for the moment the U.S. military cannot provide them with explosives. Before blasting, DEA agents warn the Indians who live nearby. They carefully cover up the cash crop that provides their livelihood, coca. Growing it is legal, turning it into cocaine is not. There is coca everywhere in Bolivia. 40% of the world's supply comes from here. To meet increasing demand, Bolivian producers are destroying the jungle to plant more. Growing coca will pay for a primitive hut, not much more, but it's a living. Santa Cruz, home of Bolivia's drug kingpins. They used to sell coca paste and base to the Colombians, but that's changed. Now the Bolivians are producing the finished product, street-ready cocaine, under the supervision of the Colombians. The DEA says that means the Colombians have moved in and intend to run the show.
It's very clear to us, and it has been for some time, that the Colombians are deeply involved in every major operation, every major cocaine operation in this country.
A man with ties to the Colombians is Jose Aliparada, a key Bolivian trafficker arrested 2 weeks ago. The DEA hustled him out of Santa Cruz to a maximum security prison, so he couldn't bribe his way out. After significant DEA successes, the drug lords are now beginning to put members of Bolivia's drug police on their payroll. They plant phony informants to lead the Americans on expensive wild goose chases. Last month, Jaime Paz Zamora was inaugurated Bolivia's president. U.S. officials fear that already cocaine cash is blunting the new Bolivian government's enthusiasm for fighting America's war on drugs.
There's no question in my mind that some traffickers and corrupt officials have seen the transition to a new government as an opportunity to try to increase their influence.
Now is a critical time for Bolivia. With enough resources, the DEA believes it can still beat the traffickers. But with time and a lot more money on their side, the drug rings are positioning themselves so that Bolivia could replace Colombia as the home of the cocaine cartels. Martha Teischner, CBS News, Trinidad, Bolivia.